welcome everyone. The Visa Payments Forum was hosted in Dallas, May 20th to 22nd. Our Chief Commercial Officer, Vinay Shiriwastaw, and our Chief Strategy Officer, Rick Lynch, were on the scene. Vinay, Rick, what were some of the key takeaways from the event this year?
Thanks, Dan. It was great to be in Dallas with Rick for the Visa Payments Forum. Really, I think if I was to touch on it to start off, it was really about the user experience, the customer journey. I think that we are in a time of extreme change in that customer journey, from the way customers buy to the way they expect goods and services delivered. And the event really focused on how will AI and Agentics change and shape that customer experience? How will it allow predictive behavior, right? Or how will it allow people to consume goods and services, whether consumer goods and services, financial, or even on the B2B side, how will those goods and services be consumed given the technology and innovation of AI coming into fruition? So, Rick, what do you think? We've saw some great real world examples of AI technology kind of shaping the ecosystem. What is your take on what you saw?
Yeah, I don't know if when people hear agentic AI, if they know what does that mean, right, in terms of me as a merchant business. So, we talked about an example of an entity that sells gifts, right? And they could have a consumer come in, put in their mom and dad and brothers and sisters' birth dates. The agentic AI system will curate and pick out gifts that are appropriate for that family member. They'll send greeting cards, right, electronically or physically in the mail to that family member, and you'll never be late or miss a birthday again. So from my standpoint, I'm excited about that. But if you think about as a business transactionally, right, you can engage with the customer and kind of have this kind of automatic, I'm going to do 20 or 30 transactions a year because I'm doing all this, quality gift buying for the customer and they like it and they're having a good experience, right? You can see how significantly that would increase volume. And so I think that's a really interesting way to think about agentic AI. There's millions of applications for that in all sorts of ways. And I think to your point, we've got to make sure that the customer has a good experience the first time they do it so that they're willing to stick with it and do it again.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. I totally agree with that. I think that those use cases are going to be the future, and I think the Visa Payments Forum really talked about a lot of technology built by Visa, right, and fintechs and the traditionalists that'll allow kind of those experiences to happen, whether that be um, a token that is assigned to you and follows you across the ecosystem and dynamically monitors your shopping behavior and learns and then is then predictive and can send signals, right, to places you shop that are predictive to your needs and wants. And I think that's going to be prolific across both business to consumer and business to business applications. Further, I think the nature of, Daniel, what I would say is the nature of the regulatory environment is going to change dramatically because of what Rick has described in the shopping behaviors, right? And we know that government agencies are going to drive forward new regulation, and how does AI help understand that regulation to drive commerce forward? Do you have a view, Rick, of the regulatory environment and some of the things that you think are going to be impactful there?
yeah, we got to ask some interesting questions, right? But from our background on the dispute side, uh, who is the merchant of record when an AI agent makes a purchase and then there's a dispute, right? And how does that change how we deal with the dispute and respond to that dispute? How does the government view the liable party, right? Is it the consumer? Is it the merchant? Did the AI screw up? There's some really interesting questions we're going to have to figure out here. I think we've seen so much happen in such a short amount of time with AI, but it's not vaporware, right? There's actual real world applications that are making changes to how we do business, and it's going to happen really fast.
Yeah, Daniel, and I'd say to summarize, it is those very points that we saw at the Visa Payments Forum. The user experience, AI Agentics affecting that user experience, and then the nature of regulatory, trust and security, safety, all of those things coming into play over the course of the next few months and years. And what are the tools that providers are going to bring to the table? In this particular instance, what are the tools Visa is going to bring to the table? And what are the tools other providers are going to bring to the table to secure those experiences and drive them forward?
Yeah, and I would add that, VAMP has been an ongoing topic for us. It was clearly one of the top undercurrents throughout the conference. We had a lot of conversations with all different kind of divisions of people within Visa, curious about how is the market reacting to it, what do merchants think, what do the banks think, what do the ISOs think. It is clear from our engagement with the folks at Visa that they are very open to listening. They want feedback. They are prepared to adapt and make the program a success. So that was refreshing, and we appreciate, their engagement with us and the industry on that program, because it's a huge change from what was going on prior.
Well, and then I'd add, I totally agree with that, and I'd add, and their increased investment in bringing products forward, either existing or new products, to allow that regulation, to allow acquirers, merchants to be compliant with that regulation. We heard from Visa, top Visa executives, that they're making significant investments in the tools and product sets, a lot of those that we deliver as a company, but that others deliver, that allow companies to operate in a compliant manner against the regulatory environment to come. So, these investments are being made. They're real. These products exist today. And I think we're going to continue to see that investment and these products come to life in a big way to allow the acquiring population, the merchant population, the consumer population to succeed as the future unfolds.
And I would finish by saying one of the most insightful things I learned, we got the chance to see Ryan McInerney, Visa CEO, came on stage, answered audience questions, and we learned that his first job in his early career was a paperboy, and I also was a paperboy my first job. So I take that to mean that my ability to grow and rise in this industry is very high.
We have no doubt that we'll all be reporting to you one day, Rick. I mean, I think we understand that inherently in ourselves here.
There's just something about delivering papers that prepares you for a payments industry, I think.
I like how he described what a newspaper was to the audience.
Yeah, very good point.
For those that did not know what an actual newspaper was. So.
Yeah, for you and I, it was a joke, but for some of the people in the room, they were like, "What? Printed paper delivered to your doorstep?"
Absolutely. Not a given in this world. So, Rick, Vinay, thank you for your insights into this event. For anyone who has questions about any of the topics covered, please reach out to us at any time. Until then, we'll see you next time.